Hello, welcome to another tutorial with me, Nick. I'm going to show you, hopefully quickly, how to bake. It's a very simple step process. So yeah, and I've just built this material just so I've got all four things to bake. So I've got the color, roughness, the bump, and displacement to create this material right here. So let's get into how we bake this. First of all, if you have got subdivision surfaces switched on, turn them off. And while we're over here, click on your render settings, change your samples to 1. Don't need denoise. And samples to 1 just because we only need the color. We don't need shadow information, anything at all other than a quick flash of the color. And then down to bake, still in our render settings. And under bake type, you want to choose emit, because we're going to use an emission node to bake everything. The first thing we should bake, I think, is the displacement. So up here, make sure you've got an image editor. Click new, give it a name. So I'm going to call it disp obs, and then I'm going to make it 4K, give it whatever size you like. You don't need alpha, new image. And back to the shader editor. If you add an image texture, image texture, and then load up what we just made, which is disp, into that texture. So now it's got somewhere to bake to. Shift A, shader emission, and anything we plug into this is going to bake. So we want the displacement information, which means whatever is going into your displacement node, you're going to plot that into your emission and can just control shift click that. So that's what we're going to bake, and we're going to bake it into here, not like that. We're going to bake it into this. So everything's set up. Make sure you've got the object you're baking from selected. Select your material, make sure it's the correct one, and then, as I say, render samples to 1, don't need denoise, bake for a minute, bake. And it's super quick because we haven't got any subdivs on or anything, and we're only doing one round. So at this point, we can now duplicate this. I'm just duplicating it on the X there. And the reason we're duplicating is because this has already been unwrapped. I think it was cube unwrapped. I can't remember. It's irrelevant. But what's not irrelevant is that this, whatever UV mapping this is, you need to make sure the mapping is the same. And because I've just duplicated this object, it's all the same. But I don't need this material. Farewell. We make a new material, and we need a Shift A texture, image texture. We're going to need Shift A vector displacement and Shift A input texture coordinate. And we want that into the UV. We're going to need 4 image textures for color, roughness, bump, and displacement. So we might as well duplicate that thrice. And in the first one, we are going to load in, very important step, this disp, the image that we baked into here. Make sure you save it. I can't believe I forgot that. So save as disp. There we go. It needs a physical external image. So image texture, open disp, plug that into height, turn the scale down at the mid-level to 0, put the scale to maybe 0.1. We will see. And we need to go over to material properties because it's a new material, and then under settings, which is down here, bump, displacement, and bump. Now the subdivision is turned off, so if we turn that back on and also make it not white so we can actually see something, it looks like it's not plugged in, which it isn't. So make sure displacement is in displacement. And there we go. I mean, that's a bit heavier displacement than the original, so let's go to 0.05. Again, all this is dependent on the model or object that you're baking, so that'll do. Now we just need the rest. So let's go for color. So let's go for the top one. We need to bake it, Nick. So go back to this one. This time in your image editor, we need a new one. So get rid of that, new, call it color 4096. Yep. Save as. And in the image editor, remember we've got to tell it where to bake to. Put color there, and we want to take whatever's going into the printable there, which is this, straight into that. And there's the color. Make sure that's selected, got the right one. Color, the object selected, still off, and then we can bake. Doink. Awesome. And image editor, image, save as, or save, whatever. Color, save as image, and we might as well do the other ones while we're here. So we've done the color. Now we might as well get the roughness. So what's going in the roughness? This one here. So plug that into emission, get rid of that. New image, rough, same old. Load that into this. Oh, hold on. Rough. Make sure I've just selected, everything's all good, and bake. And that's the roughness. Image, save as, rough, save. And finally, we need the bump. So there's the bump node. I want that. Straight into their new image. So get rid of that one. New bump. Enter. Remember where you're saving all this, because you're going to load these up again in a minute. Make sure that's got bump ready to receive. Is that his bump going into it? Yep. And same again, bake. And then we want to image, save, bump, save. Okay, now we can actually hide that. So for this, let's just for now turn off the subdiv so that it updates quicker in the viewport. And first, make sure these are all, by the way, using UV. Doink. By the way, shift right click and drag. I do that all the time. So in the top one, we want color. In the next one, we want the roughness. And in the final, we want the bump. So color is going to go into there. And the roughness is going to go into there. And the bump is going to require a bump. Vector bump. Okay, now if we turn our ting back on, we now have a perfect copy. Wait, bump's not good. Now we put the bump strength up to 5. That's better. Yeah, that's it. That's how you bake. And one final thing, actually, before I forget. This is still material displacement, so it's not physical. If you wanted to bake the displacement itself, then that's pretty simple. All we need to do is, we don't need that, so just cut the displacement so it's just flat. And we want to generate deform displace. And then put the strength down to about 0.1, I would expect. Mid-level 0. Put some new texture. And then in your texture properties down here, open the displacement, which is there. And change the coordinates to UV. And 0.1 is till 0.05. Yeah, that looks about the same. And now, to make this physical geometry, we just need to, if you've got a subdiv before it, you need to apply that first so that the displacement can work on some geometry, topology, whatever, and then shift A, control A to the displacement. And now there you go. Now it's all geometry, heavy geometry, but hey, that's what it is. You could decimate that, I'm sure. Just go into your add modifier, generate, decimate, and play with it. I would suggest with this much, so many subdivisions, it's going to take a little while to decimate, so I won't bother, but put that down to 0.3, 0.4 and see if you can get away with it. But that is the entire baking process in a nutshell. I have been Nick, you have been you, and I'll see you in the next one. Farewell.